Okay, so did you find the story engaging and why, Billy?
Well, because it started off like any other normal day would. Like you just get up, get dressed, and you go to school. But then all of a sudden you got these just two random boys, and they just beat him up for no apparent reason. Well, actually, the only reason is because he's a waste of space, and it's just meaningless stuff like that really makes more of an impact.
Yeah, Kane?
I agree, yeah. At the beginning, you just thought it was like any other normal day. Kid gets up, gets ready to go to school, but so it wasn't really. You didn't really feel engaged. Like, oh, I'm just watching another ordinary short film. But then, as Billy said, when the two kids come into it and attack the boy for no reason, or their reason, as Billy said, him being a waste of space, then it kind of reels you in. And at the end, after all this is built up on the kid and he presumably takes his own life, it really like strikes you hard.
Yeah, Mason?
Well, I think every bit gets worse and worse. At the start, there's no happiness in it. It's just depression straight away, and like you can tell by the clouds now. It's raining. It's sad, and you can also tell by the music it was really sad. And then it gets to the point where the bullies like bully him, and that's where it drops down to where it's like completely sad. And then eventually it gets to the bit where he's had enough of his life and he kills himself, which completely drops the whole story.
Okay, on to the next question. Can you clearly identify the themes and issues in the short film, Billy?
Well, first off, the most identifiable theme there is bullying.
Yeah.
But then you've also got a bit of personal life in there because the title, the title Dear Dad, that indicates some father issues, and that's shown throughout the video. And so you got personal problems with home, and then bullying problems, and that could easily create a lot of issues for a single person, and it's a bit too much for one human being to take in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as Billy said, like at the beginning you see him waking up and getting ready, but all throughout him being in his home, you see him by himself. There's no one else there, there's no adults, there's no one there to take care of him, so you can only presume that his parents and he has no one close to him. And on top of that, getting bullied for basically him just doing nothing to anyone, it does build up on him, and so I would say the key issues would be the bullying and him being pushed out of society.
Yeah, Mason?
I agree with both of them. Like there's bullying, there's dad issues and that, and as Kane says, he's got no one to look after him. Like he's basically alone. He's all by himself, and like no one can help him with the bullying issue and everything. So then he just goes down to like him killing himself. It feels like no one cares about him.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next question. Does the sound set a certain mood at moments, and why, Billy?
Well, yeah, because during the first couple of seconds, like all you heard was the alarm, which pretty normal, and as you walk, you hear the rain, which sets up a depression mood. And at the very end, you just hear like the wind and some depression music right before he presumably commits suicide, which gives more of an impact because the lack of sound indicates a bit more realism and makes it, like I said earlier, gives it more of an impact because of the bullying, because there's some rain and also there's no sound at all when the bullying comes by, which indicates trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Billy. Definitely the slow sounding, quite low music definitely builds up like tension. You can tell that this person is feeling terrible about himself, and as Billy said, at the end when you hear nothingness, it symbolizes that like death, that's going to be death, that's nothing else left for him.
Yeah. Mason?
I agree with Billy, like how the alarm goes off, and then when it turns off, then the music starts. So that obviously impacts that he's really sad, he's like really depressed, and then as Billy and Kane said, at the end the music stops. So that I think that refers to that he's not sad anymore because he's dead, so he can't be. He's like in a better place.
Okay. Does the setting of the film make the themes and issues effective, Billy?
Well, yeah, because he just lives in a normal place. He doesn't live in some big mansion. He doesn't live in some run-down home. He lives in just an average household and like just an average street, and it's just an all-round average life with personal problems mixed in.
Yeah.
So the setting does fit the themes and issues very well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Billy that he doesn't live in a rich neighborhood where the people, they all know each other, they all get along. Where it's set, it's like, you know, many of the people, they are fairly antisocial. They wouldn't like go out and have street parties with each other, and it just symbolises more how lonely the main character is.
Yeah. Mason?
Yeah, like it's just as Billy said, it's an ordinary place. It's just like a normal house. But also he could like walk down like alleyways or something, and that's where the bullies were.
Yeah.
And then he could just, it's like really bad for him because he has to walk down there to school, and the bullies are always waiting for him. So I think it's in a really bad setting for him.
Yeah, on to the next question. Does the character's mood change as the short film ends, Billy?
Not really. He seems just depressed at the beginning of the film, but you could tell that he wanted to do this because, well, if you're dead, you can't really suffer anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe well, on the outside he looked depressed. Maybe on the inside he seemed a bit more happy and like fun, and he might have felt free from all the things that burdened him in life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think that appearance-wise, he didn't seem to change his mood very often, but it seemed at the end like maybe all the stuff that happened to him during his life, it didn't give him the fear of death, and that's why he wanted to end it all, because he had nothing to lose, and he wasn't scared to take his own life.
Mason?
I'll say no, like I agree with both of them. How like when there was so much like bad stuff happening to him in life, and then as I said about the music, it stops when he falls. So that I said that the music is only playing because he's sad, but maybe as Billy said, all of his stuff is gone. He doesn't have to deal with it anymore. That's why, and I'll just say he's happy now.
Okay, next question. When the main character encountered the bullies, did the scene feel real and tense, and if so, why? Billy?
Well, yeah, because it makes you think that, because a lot of people think that can never happen to me, but when you see it, it's something that could happen to just about anyone. I mean, you never know what's around the corner. You could just walk. I mean, he was just walking down, and all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere and attack him for no reason whatsoever, and that makes it seem a bit more real world, because like there's no of that fantasy attacking you because you've stolen the princess's crown or anything like that. It's, we don't like you, so we are gonna make you a outcast.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Billy there. It did feel realistic. Like when you saw that, you could tell that could happen to anyone, because people in this world, they don't need a reason to hurt each other. They never look for a reason really, and they didn't have anything to do with this kid.
Yeah.
But they still attacked him anyway.
Fair enough. Mason?
Yeah, I agree that it can happen to anyone in the world. I mean, we don't know everyone. Like there could be someone right now in this world getting bullied the same way he was, and they feel like killing themselves. I mean, this can't be the only kid in the whole world getting bullied like that. So yeah, obviously it doesn't happen to like everyone, but probably most kids in like, you know, when they were young and that.
Yeah. Okay, final question. Does the short film create a message in any way, and if so, why, Billy?
Well, it creates the message that like a lot of people bully just to make them feel a bit more empowered, or to take out any like pent up anger they might have with like their own issues. Like a lot of people who get like verbally assaulted by their own parents will often take out their anger on other people who they deem weaker. But in turn, this could make the victim feel like that no one likes them, they have no worth in the world, and that could lead to many, because there are thousands of suicides every year just because of bullying, and that really creates a problem and a message that all bullying is doing is wasting lives and making people feel like they're worthless.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the message there was you never know who could be targeted for bullying, and you can't really tell on the outside if someone's suffering or not. just talking to someone is not going to make all your problems magically disappear. So like I think the message is we need to help these people. We don't need to just leave them to get pushed about.
Yeah,
I agree with both of them. You need to help people out. But as I said, Billy, he said about how people bully other people because of like maybe like parents and that, or like their anger. But also I think they do it because they used to get bullied when they were younger, maybe.
Yeah.
And they get annoyed and they just think, oh, I'm gonna go do it to someone else. You see how they like it,
Yeah.
so they just put it on other people.
Fair enough.
That's what I think.
Yeah, thank you for that.